Good morning everyone, I'm here again at Chally Park, part of Farnham Angling Society, and today we're checking out the Drennan Method Feeders. I'll go into them in more detail in just a moment. Last week we had our first frost down here in the south, and a lot of the country was affected by snow. Over the weekend we had Storm Bert, so there's been a lot of high winds and rain. But today we had a lot of rain last night, and the pressure is about 1 bar, so higher temperatures today, bit of sunshine, good oxygen levels in the water. We should be in for a good day. Everything's set up. I'm back in the same swim as what I was last week when I did the fishing science video. The only difference I've made is I've put the shelter on this side because the sun's coming from there, and it would be nice to get some vitamin D today. I could certainly do with it. So after Storm Bert, there was a lot of debris on the roads today, and a lot of debris around the lakes as well. And the main entrance is also quite underwater, which is not ideal when you're on a motorcycle, but I got through it okay. There is a local stream that runs along the back of the lakes here, and that is also very high and running through very fast. But I'm sure a couple of warm days this week, that's all going to soon dry out. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed recently as well, and watching the videos. I've been pleasantly surprised in the last probably 5 weeks. We've gone from 15 subscribers up to 75. And the majority of the fishing videos have been over 300 views, so I'm really surprised. But people are obviously enjoying it. So if you are enjoying it and you want to see more content, remember to hit that subscribe button. Hello everyone, today we're looking at the Drennan inline flat method feeders. I saw these on another video and I thought it would be quite interesting to check them out. Up till now I've been using the Preston ICS system. So we've got the large here, comes with a complete kit, the feeder, the quick connector and a mould, and then obviously the small, again same setup. I went for 25 gram in both, and I also bought the 35 gram versions in the small and the large as well, which will fit the same moulds but just give you a bit of extra weight for casting out. I also bought some additional quick connectors just in case I need them. So let's open them up and have a look. This is the quick connect in close detail. You can just about see there's a hook on either end for a loop to go onto, and then the sleeve goes up over the top to hold it all in place. Now the quick connector will actually sit quite snugly in the end of there, giving you a very clean looking profile. And it will effectively create a bolt effect, but it does come out relatively easy, although there's a lot easier when there's a bit of line on it. In the packet, inside, actually gives you quite a lot of details and instructions on how to use it. There's a bit of a close-up on the quick connector in there. The method mould itself has a little dimple inside of it to place your bait to ensure that it sits between the two ridges. And then it will end up like that picture there. And then on the back, just a little bit more about using the mould and making sure your bait ends up between the two prongs. That's probably quite the biggest difference between the Drennan and the ICS system. This is the ICS system in the 30 gram large, and you can see that the ribs on it are quite evenly spaced, and ideally you want your bait roughly in the middle. Here it's a little bit further forward, and you do have a larger area to put that bait in. So it'll be interesting to see whether there's any difference in regards to how they work. And looking at the feeder, you can just about see the dimple in the bottom there. So your hook bait will sit down there, making sure that it always puts it in that centre part. So the Preston ICS system is a quick change. You put the stem on the line, and then as you see there, the line feeds through the back and it will slide straight onto the stem. Very useful if you want to switch between feeder sizes, or even going to a cage feeder or a bomb. The only thing you do need to make sure is that you use the longest stem you've got, because sometimes you'll find if you use a slightly shorter stem, you'll get one of these large method feeders out and you won't be able to fit it on. These are less quick change, but they've got the tail rubber on the side, and with the quick connector, as long as you can feed your line through the stem, you've only got to hook it onto the connector, change the feeder, and away you go. Ideally what I need is a long baiting needle that would actually come through to help pull it through. Because on the back of here, although it's difficult to see, there's a slight cutout in this tube section, which makes it a little bit tricky to push the line down into. But we'll see how that goes. So I've threaded some line through the stem, and now all we need to do is tie a nice little loop. I'm just going to use my little loop tie, makes life a lot easier. And then we have a nice little loop, which can then connect to the main connection. So that will just hook onto there, push that sleeve on. So on with the hook link again, just press that over the quick connector, slide that one back, and there we have it, finished article. So we have the feeder, the hook link, and then we can snug that into the side. Obviously I should cut the tag end off. And there you go, very simple, very clean, and your hook bait will be sitting right there in the middle once you load it up with pellets. So here we have the two moulds and the two feeders. This is the large and this is the small, and this, just for comparison, is a Preston ICS large. So you can see roughly about the same. Obviously with this being an oval profile, you're going to have slightly more bait up towards the top end. This might actually be better for casting out, we shall find out. But putting these two side by side, you can see there's not a huge difference between them, but actually in person it does look quite a bit different. You can see there's a side profile there, the overall footprint much smaller. Right, let's get on the bank, see where these work. Loading up the method feeder then. I'll try and do this, I've got the camera in front of me so it's a little bit awkward. So this is the large method mould. Just going to put the bait in that dimple there, so that sits nicely, so it will sit between the two arms on the actual feeder itself. And I'm just going to load up the pellets over the top. It's a bit easier when you don't have a camera right in front of your face, but I can give you a good idea anyway. I'll just put those in there, bring the feeder over the top, give it a nice good squeeze down. There we go. And then just pop it out the other side. And voila, there we go. All ready to rock and roll. These are the pellets that I actually used from last week. When I got home, I just put them in the freezer. Got them out the freezer yesterday, put them in the garage. They thawed out, and they're ready to go again. This time of year, when you're casting sort of once every 30 minutes, you're not going to get through much bait, so there's no point mixing up loads and loads. I've just got 2 of these 1 pint tubs. I've got some more pellets in the other one if we get through them. But if I get home today and I've got some left, I'll just stick them back in the freezer and use them again next time. Well, as you can see, we're into our first fish. I was just eating a sandwich because I was hungry already. And then this little one ripped off. It's a little mirror carp. It was the second cast. The first one, I had a few indications, but nothing came through. Cool, blimey. But this one hasn't taken very long at all. It was only out for about 10 minutes. I was just having a cup of coffee and a sandwich. Feed me up, keep me going. Come on in. Well, this one's not ready, is it? It's certainly got some scrap in it. We'll just let the rod do the work. No rush. Come on in, you ready? Oh, now it's going to swim under the net. It's all over the place, this one. I've obviously disrupted his breakfast. It's not even that big. Are you ready now? No, still not ready. Come on. Oh, it's determined. Oh, blimey. A week away from the banks and I've lost my touch. Okay, go on then, take a bit of line. There we go, in the net. In the net. That's the first fish on the Drennan Method Feeder. It's in the bottom lip, so that's a good sign. Okay. Yeah, probably the smallest fish I've had for a while. Look at that though, isn't it gorgeous? Absolutely beautiful. You're going to be a cracker one day, aren't you? There we go. Oh, let's get this one back in. Well, we're into another fish. It's another small one. But they're all welcome. It took a bit longer, that one. My cast wasn't as accurate. So one thing I've noticed with the Drennan Method Feeder already is that when you do bring it in, all the pellets have come off quite nicely. Whereas in comparison to the Preston ICS, I notice quite often you'll get pellets stuck. Oh, excuse me. I've noticed with the Preston ICS, quite often the pellets will be still stuck to the feeder. Sometimes quite a bit. I think the Drennan just has a bit better flow between the ribs, which allows the pellets to break down a bit easier, especially in this cooler weather. In the summer it's not so bad, because obviously the water temperature is a lot higher. Certainly another scrapper. It's another mirror carp, similar to the last one. Certainly puts the rigged and ready X5 Max Adventure into its full use. Oh, might be a bit bigger than the last one actually. You can see there's quite a bit of wind on the water, which is unusual for this place. But obviously we have had that storm recently, over the weekend. But it's certainly nice to be back on the bank after a week. Sun in your face, bit of vitamin D. And a few fish on the bank as well. There's only 2 people fishing here today. I'm on the small lake and someone's on the larger lake. So it's quite nice. Come on then, Mr. Fish, are you ready? No, he says, I'm not ready. God, blimey. Oh. That was a burst of energy. Where did that come from? Oh, come on. Yeah, this one doesn't want to. He don't want to play ball, does he? Oh, he's right out there again now. Nice and gentle. Swim under the net. There we go, in the net. Well done. Marvellous. Well, another cracking hook hold. Feeder's certainly doing the work. I wasn't sure whether that one was going to go because my cast wasn't as good. There we go. Have a good look in mirror. Oh, steady. Steady. There we go. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Well, I think that was the quickest take I've ever had. My goodness me. I just put that other little fish back. I just sat down, I cast it back out and poured a coffee, and it can only have been out less than a minute. Absolutely rip round. I wasn't expecting that. Wasn't expecting that at all. This feels like a much bigger fish as well. Well, I say that every time, don't I? Let's be honest. God. Can't have been out more than a minute. I thought I'd just settle down, get myself a nice cup of coffee, soak up some of the sunshine. This is the third fish today. It's about midday already. I suppose I started fishing about 10:30. So it's an hour and a half, and this is the third one. That's not too bad at all. No idea what we've hooked into. I haven't seen it yet. Well, it looks like another mirror carp. But yeah, that was very, very quick indeed. God, I haven't had a bite like that for a good long while. Instant response. I did cast it into a better spot, so I felt a bit more confident with it, but not that confident. Right, Mr. Fish, where are you and what are you doing? Oh, you're going to start playing, are you? Oh, I see. Right down under the rod tip. Oh, come on. Let's get you away from that pole. We don't want to be wrapped around that. I think it's ready. Oh no, no, it's not ready. Famous last words. Look at that, the pellets haven't even come off the feeder yet. Perfect. Right, let's have a look at this one. Needed a scorcher for this one. There we go. Yeah, you can see there the pellets are still on the feed. Wasn't out for very long at all. Yeah, another small mirror carp. Come on. Another small mirror carp, but there we go. Oh. Well, we're into another fish. Oh, they really are feeding well today. There was a few very subtle bites, that one. So I don't know whether it's a bit smaller. Oh yeah, it's an F1. There we go. A nice little fish then. So yeah, the feeder's been out a bit longer. You can see there's just a few pellets on it, but generally speaking it's clear. There we go, nice little F1. A really bulging belly on it. But yeah, there we go. Another fish to the Drennan Method Feeder. Let's slip you back in. Right, let's get this one cast back out. There we go, that's roughly where we're fishing. Get that back on the wrist. We are into another fish. As you can see, I've got the camera mounted on a sort of chest and strap piece. Let me know in the comments below if you prefer the camera on the tripod or if you prefer this sort of action cam style. It's a little bit tricky to operate the camera. I mean, I don't even know whether it's on, so I could even be talking to myself right now. Ooh, blimey. Sometimes I see it in videos with these action cam styles and I like it, and sometimes I don't. Cool. This hasn't taken very long at all. They're certainly coming thick and fast today. Feels like a better fish too. Looks a better fish. God. So overall, I think the Drennan Method feeders have worked very nicely indeed. I find the quick connectors a little bit fiddly, but to be fair, once you set up, unless you've got to change your hook link, you ain't got to do much with it anyway. That is a better fish. There we go, in the net. Lovely jubbly. Well, unfortunately, mistakes were made. I recorded bringing that fish in using the camera on the chest strap, and when I netted the fish I decided I'd swap the camera over to the tripod, and when I switched it over to the tripod I stopped recording momentarily and I didn't start the recording again. It was the best fish of the day, probably about 8 or 9 pounds. Good looking fish, so you don't get to see that one, unfortunately. Oh well, these things happen, But let me know in the comments below if you prefer the action style or if you prefer it on the tripod. Either way, I'll try and make it work. Well, it feels like we're into another cracking fish, so I might even be able to redeem myself. It is right in those pads though. Right, it's out of the pads now, so that's good. It's only in a couple of minutes. Come on, come away from those poles. There we go. Oof. They are absolutely on it today. I knew the conditions would be good. The pressure's low, lots of rain. There might have not been many anglers here over the weekend because of the weather. Yeah, gotcha. Go. So this is probably the second biggest fish of the day. Obviously you didn't get to see the other one because of my error. That's not a bad size though, you know. It's probably about 7 pounds. Yeah, another gorgeous fish. Looks beautiful in that sunshine as well, doesn't it? So yeah, certainly the bigger fish coming out now. Let's get you back in. We are in again. It's only about 20 past 1. So we're about 3 hours into the fishing session, but my goodness me, we've had some fish. I did lose one about 5 or 10 minutes ago. It connected and then sort of came off straight away. May have been a bit premature on the strike. But yet again, this one hasn't been out very long. Oh, I thought that hook was going to pull in. It's funny how hard the small fish fight. And then the bigger ones are a lot more docile, probably more the time of year. But yeah. Another mirror carp, good size, probably about 5 or 6 pounds. Yeah, gorgeous. God, this feels absolutely massive. God, got to try and keep it away from those pads. Holy cow. Come on, let's get you into open water. I was just sitting there wondering whether or not this is going to go. The power it had when I struck into it. Oh. Surging and lunging. Looks like a good fish too. Nice and steady, Gordy. All mirrors today, no commons, apart from the F1, which is a common crucian hybrid. This could possibly be the biggest one of the day. Ooh, it's a chunk. It is a chunk. It's a chunk. Ah, and it's in the nets. God, blimey. Yeah, that's got to be the biggest one. Certainly. There we go. 11-pound mirror carp. Very long, very lean, but really quite a chunk on it. Absolutely gorgeous fish. There we go. So, final thoughts on the Drennan Method Feeder. I think the number of fish we've had today is certainly testimony. But like I said, conditions are good for it. So I think whichever feeder we were using today, we'd be catching good numbers. The main things I really like about it, one, it has that little dimple to put your bait into to make sure it sits perfectly on the feeder every time. Secondly, it comes out of the mould nice and easily. Doesn't stick or leave pellets behind. Thirdly, it casts really well. No issues there at all. I'm only doing little flick underarm casts, but had no issues getting it out of there at all. And that's on the 25 gram. Fourthly, the spacing of the ribs on the feeder, giving the pellets plenty of chance to break down. I've had no issues with feeders coming back with still pellets on them. Other than that, I think there was 2 fish that were very quick, so the pellets didn't even have a chance to settle. Overall then, the Drennan Method Feeder, yep, I will be sticking with it. It's been perfect today, and I can see myself continuing to use them. If I do come across any problems in the future, I'll bring them up. But yeah, it's about 1:30, We've been fishing 3 hours. The sun's already quite low in the sky, but I'll probably have another hour or so. We're just doing the final conclusions, and lo and behold, we've got another bite. I mean, that just about sums it up, doesn't it? Just telling you what I like about the Drennan feeder. It's just ripped off. Oh dear. The camera's in the wrong place now though. See if we can move you around. This looks like a good fish actually. See if we can get their head up. It's certainly staying deep. Doesn't want to come up at all. Come on in, where are you? There you are. Straight back down to the bottom again. Still plenty of fight left in this one yet. No signs of easing up. God, blimey. Does not want to get its head out of the water. I don't want to force it too much. This is the stage where it's easy to lose them. Just got to let them take their time. Let the rod do the work. And when they're ready, they're ready. Oh, I missed the net. That was a fatal error. That was the perfect opportunity to net the fish. It is done for. Let's hope we get that second chance. That was very poor netting on my part. Gave it a second chance. Will the fish give me a second chance? Come on. Yes, we got it. We got it. Whew, that was a battle and a half. It's just come over cloudy as well. It looks like it's going to absolutely chuck it down. There we go, just shy of £9. Cracking fish. Absolutely gorgeous. What a fight that was as well. Well, I think that just about sums up the Drennan Method Feeder. There you go. I'll see you in the next one.